You are very welcome to join the contact singers for this little Christmas offering of festive song. What makes the whole story of the Nativity so meaningful that we still celebrate it thousands of years later? Is it the idea of the mysterious men from the east? The horror of King Herod? The obedience of Mary? The spectacle of the angels? Or is it the combination of the holy with the everyday occurrence of a newborn baby? The poet Michael Longley sums this up beautifully in his poem, The Birth. The cosmos shaper has come down to earth. Mary is counting his fingers and toes. The contact singers will now sing Tiny Miracle by Pepper Choppin. The birth of a baby, such a joy to a family, but not a joy that everyone can attain. Indeed, Christmas can cast up a lot of human disappointments at the same time as everyone else seems to be living their best life. This next piece by the Contact Singers recognises the reality of sadness and loss that doesn't disappear just because it's Christmas. But it still invites those in despair to reach out and embrace the message of hope that the Bethlehem story brings us. O Come All Ye Unfaithful by Bob Coughlin and Lisa Clough.
We
So much of the build-up to Christmas is made up of the memories of seasons gone past. Many of these are wrapped up in films and traditional festive treats. For my family, The Grinch continues to be a firm favourite. It was a story that passed me by in my childhood. Ebenezer was the only Scrooge I knew. But the tale of how a lonely outcast tried to ruin the happiness of the wonderful people of Whoville by stealing their presents and food has a message for us all. This is just a little excerpt from the original story by Dr. Seuss. To set the scene, it is Christmas morning and the Grinch is expecting to hear screams of disappointment from the Who people. The Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why? This sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. So much of the real Christmas meaning is wrapped up in song for me, often sung by the contact singers here in Gilnahirk and further afield. This piece in particular manages to convey the whole spirit of Christmas beautifully. Fall on Your Knees by Pepper Choppin.
See the shine.
The poet Seamus Heaney hand-wrote his Christmas cards every year, complete with a new little verse. In his everyday language, he beautifully paints a child's deep, trusting sense of anticipation in this writing called simply Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, my father would tell us, he's on his way now, coming round Slieve Gallion. If you listen hard, maybe you'll hear the sleigh bells. I remember climbing the beech tree at the end of our lane, listening through the frosty air. If you listen now, you'll hear them too in our final piece, It's Christmas Time, by Michael Smith and Joanna Charlson. Have a safe and peaceful Merry Christmas, everyone.